All right, hey, so got home really late today, but that's okay. I'm here now, and we're going to get it started. I know it was quiet there for a little bit, but I'm back, and I'm here, and all that stuff. Happy Wednesday, hump day! Get to humping. So anyway, we'll get as much as we can in. I got a lot of stuff ready, but I just wasn't here. So, all right, shall we? Let's shall. Johnny, turn that off. Start the intro. Johnny. You guys realize I'm Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night.
All right, let's get it going. Good morning, everybody. Stop the music. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P. Dog Night on the internet. And welcome back to the P. Dog Night channel. It's Wednesday, hump day, the 20th of July, 2020, or 2022, sorry. And I'm going to try to get as much as I can in as soon as possible. So anyway, we got some bad news. Laura's going to have Lady Boomer's going to have surgery next week. And hopefully it'll be, she's going to have, hopefully we'll have the recovery time. It'll be time before we go to Europe. But, and that's why she has to have it now. And then she also has a problem with her foot. But, so we're going to be, there'll be some days where I'm going to be doing other things and may not have the show on a few days next week, particularly Wednesday. But I'll do my best to sneak in a show somewhere if I can. Oh, shoot, need to update this. Hang on a second. So just give you a heads up. Next Wednesday, there will be no 9 or 10 o'clock Eastern show. It may be later in the evening and whatever. So we'll deal with that as it comes, but just want to get that and remind people that. Also got a reminder this Friday, our friend Gabs is going to be here. We're going to talk about the issue with schools and parents at schools. That would be Gabrielle Clark. She is a very, very passionate activist regarding a couple things, CRT in schools, and also this whole trans and pronouns and all this other wild stuff that they're trying to shove down the throats of our children and damaging a lot of people along the way. And so she's going to be here Friday. She's great. She's a great advocate for parents and what people are being taught in school. So there you go. So let's get it started. We'll say hi to everybody and then we'll get the show started because BETO is in the news. I mean, did I say beta? I meant BETO. He's in the news. And I want to talk about him briefly, but then like I said, I got a whole bunch of stuff. We're just going to touch on a bunch of headlines that you're going to be hearing about, and we'll get it going. So anyway, first in chat today is our friend Avocados Diablo, who gets the bell. We got two bells, in fact, because I hit the button twice. Also, good morning, Maddie. How you doing? Also, Tyrannus Alexandrius. Also, good morning, Simon Wolfwood, Mike Savage, Blarg, Tyler F is in the house. Also, Man Squatch, what's up? Zach to the future, Don Julio, Gulf City Biker, and Trash Man, welcome back, Don Julio. Also, Unfair Ophelia, what's happening? Rotten Corpse, Jonathan Peterson's back. Nice to see you. Also, good morning to my favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony, the Asia Research Directorate, Fight for Our Right, Did I just skip there? I kind of did. Hopefully I didn't skip over anybody. And Black Hebrew Israelite is in the house.
right.
So I had to start the show right away because I was already late. And so people will probably be just rolling in here as they do. So they'll get caught up on their own. So let's start with I'm going to start with the main story first today, because Beto O'Rourke's made a big splash in the news, because Beto O'Rourke has been fundraising like a motherfucker. Hello, Natasha Brown, or Natasha Brown, Natasha Kayleen. Beto O'Rourke has raised in the last month some $28 million for the governor's race of the state of Texas. Now, he just announced that he is running for the governor of Texas, but his fundraising is just off the charts. Apparently it is a record. Let's see. It's a record. Let me find that right article here. It's a record it's a record month fundraising for a governor's race. And what's interesting about it, very interesting about it, if you see the picture up there, I don't just have Beta in the picture. Apparently, he has received $1 million from a single source of that. And now, granted, he's raised 28 some $1 million, so it's not just this single source, but the single source happens to be from he who shall not be named. And why is that doing that? There we go. Apparently, none other than George Soros has donated $1 million to Beto O'Rourke's bid for the Texas governor. Left-wing billionaire George Soros donated $1 million to Beto O'Rourke in his bid to unseat Governor Greg Abbott in Texas, contributing to the Democratic candidate's feat of outraising the incumbent during the past press quarter. Nearly half of O'Rourke's record-breaking $27.6 million fundraising haul came from out-of-state donors, with Soros' hefty donation helping the Democratic challenger best Abbott in fundraising over the past 6 months, according to filings by the Texas Ethics Commission, reported by The Hill. The sum also helped O'Rourke reach a milestone of making the most money a Texas candidate running for a statewide office has ever raised in a single fundraising period. Soros, a Hungarian born. Well, we don't need to talk about Soros because he's like Voldemort. I could get yeeted just for saying his name. I think, I'm not sure, because anytime you mention his name, it's like, you're just being one of those anti-termite people or something like that. No, Semite. Did I say termite? That's wrong. Now I can get in trouble for that. And I was just making a joke, but it was a bad joke. And I'm going to, that's dangerous. Anyway, good morning, Rachel Madhouse Dildo and Select a Boy.
Yeah, boy.
And, and Aaron Meredith, what's up? Anyway, so, yeah, nearly half of his fundraising dollars are from out of state. I'm going to guess, much like Stacy Abrams, a massive amount of his money comes from places in California and New York. I remember when Stacy Abrams has been fundraising, I think only 3% of her fundraising efforts are in the state of Georgia. So at least he's, Beta is at least doing about half and half, but good Lord, $28 million in one quarter for a freaking governor's race. Now, there's several outlets reporting on this. That was that was MSN. Here's the Washington Examiner also talking about it. Soros donates $1 million to Beto O'Rourke's bid for governor. And apparently I see what they did. They're using did the MSN use the Washington Examiner's article? It could be. Let's see here. Oh, they did. No wonder. I was wondering why the articles were exactly the same. Well, let's just get rid of MSN then. But Legal Insurrection is also on the case. George Soros gave Beto's a campaign donation of $1 million on June 23rd. I doubt this money will do anything for Robert Francis O'Rourke. Yes, BETO. His name is Robert Francis O'Rourke. He's not Hispanic whatsoever, even though he has a Hispanic nickname. Robert Francis O'Rourke's campaign finance report is out. A familiar name is on the list. Billionaire George Soros gave the wannabe Texas governor $1 million on June 23rd. O'Rourke's fans groaned when someone asked the Texas gubernatorial candidate if he received money from Soros on May 21st, 2022. So here's the town hall.
I have one question for you, sir. How much money is George Soros funneling into your campaign?
None that I know of. We have more than 200,000 unique contributors
from other states.
And it's all public information. So we publish that. You're welcome to look at it. But as far as I know, I have not received any money from George Soros.
Well, that was,
Thanks
again, now that was May, what was the date on that? That was May 21st. So maybe he hadn't gotten the donation. Well, he hadn't gotten the donation yet because the donation came in June. But anyway, is it the right obsessed with Soros? The dude is never up to any good, but Soros is also more proof that leftists are hypocritical regarding money in politics. They whine and cry about dark money and Republicans receiving money from big-name people who don't even live in the state or district of the said candidate. Soros is a big donor to numerous troubling district attorneys and state's attorneys across the country. Soros-backed Chelsea Bowden, who's been recalled for San Francisco district attorney, the son of weather underground terrorist. His soft on crime approach has helped the city become a full-blown shithole. I'm sorry, they said disaster. I was just embellishing. The people of San Francisco successfully recalled Bowden. Soros might lose Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon. Also, Leslie coined the city Gasconistan because the DA won't do anything about crime, even sexual crimes against children. But wait, there's more. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, another one backed by Soros, has felt the heat lately. He vowed to only go after violent criminals and to encourage prosecutors to turn some felonies into misdemeanors. Bragg might not recover over his office's mishandling of a bodega worker, Jose Alba. There's an update on that today also. The office dropped the secondary murder charge when, well, that's the update, when Alba acted in self-defense, but it might be too late for Bragg's career. Soros-backed Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx, that's of Jussie Smollett fame. The woman who bungled the case against Jussie Smollett gave $2 million to a PAC formed by specifically to re-elect Foxx. Foxx won, but Chicago, but it's Chicago. It's Chicago. So yeah, did I say hi to Chicago Mike and Maniac Man? Well, I'm saying it now. Hello, y'all. So anyway, BETO got some money from George Soros. No surprise. I'm sure that's going to make Texans just love him even more. Apparently, I don't know that he's that popular in Texas, but he did come close. Should I say close? I don't know. Right now, the polls are heavily in favor of Abbott being reelected, but you never know. With $28 million one quarter, you can buy a lot of ads. So here's someone who tweeted: Texans gave $14.5 million to Democrats' campaign. The Democrats campaign, nearly half of O'Rourke's record-breaking $27.6 million fundraising haul came from out-of-state donors. George Soros donates $1 million to Texas governor candidate BETO O'Rourke. Soros is trying to buy Texas. Yeah, that's whatever. It's weird. I was just listening this morning to my friend talk about how states, state campaign laws don't really have any rules against out-of-state fundraising. And so a lot of these, big name leftists, Stacy Abrams, BETO O'Rourke, and so on, get a lot of money from out-of-state and even out-of-country donors. There's no rules against it. Now imagine if every state had a rule where you could only fundraise for your campaign within your own state. That would be a big difference. I don't know what Greg Abbott's fundraisings dollars come from, where they come from, I should say. But I can't imagine that more than half is from outside of Texas. It's possible. I mean, they might be being bankrolled by oil companies and energy companies and shit, although they do have their energy problems. But anyway, good morning, Eddie Haskell. Nice to see you. So, on that note, too, though, now he does have an interesting ad. Now, here's the ad. Here's the El Paso Times, because he has officially launched his campaign. And so, this is from, what day is this from? Oh, shoot. These are just photos from this. Okay, never mind. He officially launched his campaign called the Drive for Texas, which he's going to drive through Texas and try to go to more than 65 counties. So here it is. Beto O'Rourke speaks at his Drive for Texas kickoff at the Lowbrow Palace in El Paso on July 19th. And then Beto O'Rourke kick off his Drive for Texas campaign tour at the Lowbrow Palace in El Paso, Texas, Tuesday. The tour involves a 49-day, 5,600-mile-plus statewide tour across the Lone Star State to meet with voters in hopes of defeating Governor Greg Abbott. You know, I have a feeling, I got a feeling, I have a feeling, though, that big-ass Soros donation probably isn't going to sit well with a lot of Texans, just because. And then so there's a whole picture show. You can watch it. Go through the pictures yourself, because if you're really desperate to learn about Beto. But the other thing is he does have this ad. Now this is called a group called Mothers Against Greg Abbott PAC, a political action committee specifically against Greg Abbott. And I want you to see this ad because it's interesting. Because well, of course, there's going to be people who don't like Greg Abbott, but it's fascinating how they try to blaze them. So anyway, here's the ad.
They say nothing changes in Texas politics until it does.
Till it does.
Till the Texas power grid failed and our families froze without water and electricity.
Now, what's fascinating, I'm not sure how they were without water. Because the power grid froze. I'm not sure how that's Greg Abbott's fault. It's not like Greg Abbott when Greg Abbott got in office, he came in and just changed the entire Texas power grid to, it was just Greg Abbott that did that. There wasn't a Texas power grid before Greg Abbott came. Anyway, so he's basically getting blamed for a natural disaster.
Until white Texas politicians removed our history from the classroom.
Oh, that's going to go over well. Isn't Texas still mostly white and Hispanic people? And most Hispanic people call themselves white too, even though they have to check the Hispanic box? Until white Texas politicians.
You're fucking a white male!
Until they made it legal to buy a gun without a permit and openly carry it.
Open carry has been around in Texas for a very long time. I'm trying to think. Now, to buy it without a permit, shall not be infringed. They're following the Constitution. I don't know. Anyway, let's see what this one says.
Till Texas politicians put a $10,000 bounty on anyone who helped a woman get an abortion.
Now that's the weird one. I never understood how they did that one, but they didn't put the bounty on the woman. It was on, I think it was on doctors performing them. I don't think it had it. They weren't criminalizing women. That's interesting. Now this is the one that I'm sure Hispanic folks, the new Hispanic population of Texas, who are as far as family and whatever go, this is the one that is gonna probably go. They're gonna be like, what'd she say? Here it is.
So we were called child abusers for loving and supporting our transgender children.
What? Is that going to play well in the Catolica churches of the Hispanic folks? What about, okay.
Till Texas school boards banned books by Black and LGBTQ authors.
Oh, did they now? Okay, so they disallowed books that had explicit sexual content. Did not all of Toni Morrison books have been banned? This is Toni Morrison, that the book Beloved, and apparently there's some explicit sexual something in there. And so they just took it out of school. They didn't ban the books themselves, but they took them out of the schools. But they have other Toni Morrison books in there. So did they ban books by all Black authors and all LGBTQ authors? I don't think so. But the one with the picture of the blowjob, I'm pretty sure they took that one out of the schools. Okay.
Till our loved ones died when Texas politicians fought mask and vaccine mandates during the...
Texas is ranked 27 in overall 27th in per capita deaths in this country. Now, every governor in the country could have someone mad at them about the COVID deaths, but I don't think it's the governor's fault. But they're going to try.
The worst pandemic in over 100 years.
We want real change for Texas.
Now.
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 Before history repeats itself.
Oh, see, now if you don't vote for BETO, if you don't vote for BETO, we're gonna have book burnings in the streets. Oh my God.
And we're ready to fight.
Okay. Oh no! Did you hear what she said? Did she just call for an insurrection? By using the word fight? I'm just saying.
We live in suburbs.
Oh, do you?
In big cities.
Oh, do you?
And on farms and ranches.
Yeah, that's about the only place you're going to fit. I'm sorry, I'm not fat shaming her. I can't do that. That's not right. That's not right. Hello, Renee Mayette. Yes, that is violence. She's inciting violence.
We are mothers.
You're a mother, all right.
We are mothers.
You are a mother, all right.
We are their mothers against Greg Abbott.
Let's make Texas a safe place where all families can thrive again.
Oh, she's so proud of her little transgender girl there. She's so proud.
We are mothers against Greg Abbott.
Okay. It's interesting because these mothers seem to want to, well, I'm not going to go there anyway. All right, let me go back. Let me come back to you here for a moment here. Hey, I see that there. And the Selecta Boy who says, and the music will come here in a second. Selecta Boy, thank you for sponsoring the show. You're the first sponsor today. I appreciate
China
you.
is asshole.
Whoops. I always hit that wrong button. Thank you, Selecta Boy, who says, worst pandemic in over 100 years. What century is she from? Yeah, yeah, I know, right? Anyway, thank you. I think because that other pandemic was last in 2007 or not 2000, 1918 or 1917. Anyway, also thank you, Margaret Sanger. What? What? Margaret Sanger, who is the superstar.
You are the new Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day.
Thank you for sponsoring the show. Who says, love your show, but you have a criminal head shape. Margaret, I'm glad you're dead. Anyway. Okay, I'm going to keep going here because I'm going to get myself in trouble. Okay, so anyway, let's move on. Also hanging on the news today, Mike Pence is trending in the news, and apparently Mike Pence threw his support behind Liz Cheney in Wyoming, but Liz Cheney's going to get her ass kicked. And also Mike Pence, apparently he's been doing a lot of fundraising for Republicans, and that's great. I mean, I think he should be. In fact, not all of the candidates he's been fundraising for are, some of them are even some of the Trump people that Trump has endorsed. He's been out doing some heavy duty fundraising quietly in the background. And so there are people, a lot of people are talking about Mike Pence today. This is apparently at some event, a fundraising event. Per GOP in the room, Representative Chip Roy stood up this morning at the Republican something conference meeting with Pence and said, "I just want to say thank you for defending our Constitution. I'm happy to shout it from Mar-a-Lago to Bedminster, but I just want you to know how grateful we are." Mike Pence spoke at the Conservative House Republican something RSC, whatever that is, this morning. Chip Roy stood to thank Pence for counting the votes on, he said January 6th, excuse me. A source in the room said Roy received significant applause. So, but then there's a lot of people shitting on Mike Pence, like this Jeff Tiedrich asshole. Raise your hand if you'd like to see Mike Pence testify under oath in front of Congress for 11 straight hours on live television to explain why he knew not to get in that Secret Service car on January 6th. Step the fuck up, Mike. Name names. Well, he didn't go into the Secret Service cars. He decided to stay. And they count the votes later in that day. So that's why he didn't go. Again, Dan Quill had to convince Mike Pence to do his job in regard to the 2020 election. Mike Pence was looking for an out, having to do the right thing. No, he wasn't. He was pretty solid on what he was going to do that day. So anyway, a lot of people are bitching about Mike Pence, and there's an article in the New York Times, if it ever came up. No, there's a problem with Archive today. Let me see if I can find at least just the name of the article, and maybe we'll check it out tomorrow. I don't see it in here. But anyway, there are people who are talking about Mike Pence as a possible candidate for president. There are people who are giving Mike Pence shit. But for whatever reason, I think this New York Times article that I cannot bring up for whatever reason is the reason everyone's talking about Mike Pence. Iowa Senator Charles Grassley, the Senate President pro tempore, says he and President Mike Pence will divide over certification of the Electoral College votes since we don't expect him to be there. That was from January 5th, 2021, but he was there. Republican Study Committee. We have a pretty good idea what Mike Pence and the Republican Study Committee are meeting about today. Make abortion illegal and cutting Social Security and Medicare. Well, look, on that note, I know there's people in who Congress people are thinking about when they get in charge, they're going to put some, try to nationalize the abortion debate. I think that would be a bad idea. I would just say the court said it's a state thing, and they should let the states do their job. And I imagine after the court's ruling on Roe and on whatever Dobbs that just came up, that they're not going to, I don't know that they're going to allow Congress to make a national law about it. We'll see. Who knows? But anyway, Pence, and thank you, Dax Orion is subscribed to the channel. Dax, what's up? Nice to see you if you're here. But Pence is not going to be president. Pence is not going to run for. I don't doubt if he run for president. And he won't get through primaries. But a lot of people are saying there's a conspiracy. Oh, Mike Pence wouldn't get in the Secret Service car when they were going to take him away from the, from the Capitol building where they were going to count the votes later that day. He decided to stay. And so, whatever. A lot of people are saying the January 6th. Remember the Secret Service Director James Murray announced he was retiring 2 weeks ago. Now we know why. So that'll get us into the Secret Service, which is also trending today. So apparently there's the January 6th committee were trying to subpoena some text messages from being passed around among the Secret Service. And apparently there were no relevant texts in the batch of deleted texts we never examined. It isn't the Defense and Secret Service thing. It is the U.S. Secret Service has determined that it has no new text to provide Congress relevant to its January 6th investigation, that any other text its agents exchanged around the time of the 2021 attack on the Capitol were purged. So right around that time of the year, the entire they changed over phones in the Secret Service, and so they can't give the text that the January 6th committee has asked for. Now, I find, and a lot of people are angry about this, right? Well, I find it fascinating that these people are so angry that the Secret Service is handing over some text that they supposedly have when, you know, these people have been fighting subpoenas on shit for years. In fact, I don't think the Secret Service went and busted up the phones like a certain former candidate, the first woman president of the United States was supposed to be. At least she did some shit. Anyway, here's the CNN article. Secret Service provided a single text in exchange to IG after a request for many records. The Secret Service is only able to produce a single text exchange to the DHS Inspector General, who had requested a month's worth of records for 24 Secret Service personnel, according to a letter to the House Select Committee investigated January 6, 2021, and obtained by CNN. The revelation provides insight into the concern raised in a recent letter to Congress by the Inspector General, who accused the agency of not retaining records needed for the January 6th investigation. Inspector General Joseph Kufari, having already received an initial batch of documents, including hundreds of thousands of disclosures of agency documents, policies, radio communications, emails, briefings, and interviews, requested in June 2021 text messages sent and received by 24 Secret Service personnel between December 7, 2020 and January 8, 2021, according to the letter, the details of which has not been previously reported. The letters not identify the 24 personnel. Quote, the Secret Service submitted the responsive records it identified, namely a text message conversation from former U.S. Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund to former Secret Service Uniform Division Chief Thomas Sullivan requesting assistance on January 6, 2021, and advised the agency did not have any further record responsive to the DHS Inspector General's request for text messages. Assistant Director Ronald Rose wrote in a letter to the January 6th committee. Now, Representative Zoe Lofgren, a California Democrat who is a member of the Select Committee, said in an interview with MSNBC, I'm sure this was important. Do I have a troll? Where? Where's my, what troll is there a troll in here? Oh, it's a super chat troll. Anyway, that the panel received one text message that she hadn't seen, but it's the panel that the panel would be pursuing more information as the committee soon. In the letter, they gave no indication that they have secured the phones in question and done some forensic work with them. That's something we want to know, Lofgren said. This obviously doesn't look good. Coincidences can't happen. Well, they happened a lot with Hillary Clinton, although they were smashing phone and hard drives and shit. This obviously doesn't look good. Coincidences can happen, but it really needs to get to we really need to get to the bottom of this and get a lot more information than we have currently. So anyway, they sent a bunch of requests. The Secret Service has only come up with one email thread. Real quick. Thank you, John Gacy. John Gacy, thank you for sponsoring the show. And apparently John Gacy is still the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor,
which is really just the same person. Who says, you want a personal tour of the crawl space?
Your life makes me sad.
Okay, thank you, John Gacy. So anyway, everyone's talking about the Secret Service and people are bitching. Oh, they're just, don't you ever talk about her emails again, blah, 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 blah. All right, and in fact, here's on New Day. Listen to how they describe this.
The Secret Service turned over only one text message. That is one single text message relating to the outrage of January 6th, according to a letter obtained by CNN from the Homeland Security Inspector General to the January 6th committee. The IG had asked for a month's worth of records from 24 Secret Service personnel and was provided with how many?
I'll find out.
Who knows? One single text exchange about January 6th. This comes as the National Archives has asked the Secret Service to investigate, saying they are aware of the, quote, potential unauthorized deletion of agency text messages.
Oh my gosh,
Gordon
the
Haddell
unauthorized deletion of texts and emails. I've never heard of that before. This has never happened in the history of the United States of America.
Director of the Secret Service. He was also previously Inspector General at the Defense Department and Labor Department. Joins us now. Gordon, great to see you. Thank you for being with us. We hope you can provide insight into what's going on. I just want to remind our viewers of the timeline here.
Yes. No,
Congress
government
informed the
records
Secret
lost?
Service it needed to preserve and produce documents related to January 6th on January
Never heard of
16th, 2021, and again on January 25th, 2021, for 4 different committees who were investigating the Secret Service migration, for which there is some blame for the absence of these text messages, this migration where maybe these messages got deleted.
You know what? I'm not going to waste time reading this. This is a breathtaking development, according to This is CNN. So anyway, can we move on? How about, what else do we got? I'm not even to the news yet. Clarence Thomas is trending today. Now, apparently, there's this article. Let's see. Here's the article. Let's just read the article first. So Representative, this is from the New York Daily News, which if you're not familiar with the New York Daily News, they're very much on the left end of the spectrum, but they're a news organization that gets information from people that they want to. Dax, YouTube wants you to clone yourself too. It seems, Dax O'Brien. Well, Dax, I'm welcome to the show. I haven't seen you around in a while. Anyway, Representative Gerald Nadler. His name is funny. He's a funny looking, Tweedledee, Tweedledum looking motherfucker, but he also has a funny name. Gerald Nadler asks why Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas didn't comment on interracial marriage. Now, this is in relation to his concurrence in the Dobbs case on Roe versus Wade. Representative Gerald Nadler took to the floor of the House chamber to admonish Justice Clarence Thomas for recommending a federal legal review of gay marriage, sex, and contraception while remaining silent on the Supreme Court's ruling legalizing interracial marriage in 1967. Well, let me help you out here, Gerald Nadler. I can probably help you right now. If you think about it, the 67 decision on interracial marriage probably had something to do with the 14th Amendment and the what's the other one they used? I think the 14th and whatever, but definitely the Equal Protection Clause based on race and whatever that was in the 14th Amendment, which would have a constitutional basis. However, he mentioned the others because there wasn't a constitutional basis for the, Obergefell at the time, but they also went on, they tried to go with the Equal Protection Clause, which is fine. I don't care. I agree that they did use the Equal Protection Clause, but that's probably why, because there was an amendment, the 14th Amendment, that basically was specifically the equal protection based on race of people. So that's probably why it did. But let me continue in the article. Thank you, son of Sam. And whoever this is still the Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day. It says, P-Dog is telling me to do things now. Well, yes, I am. That's how I work. I tell people what to do, but I also appreciate people who do things for me. And so whether you are John Wayne Gacy, Margaret Sanger, or son of Sam, I do appreciate you, although between the three of you, you kill a lot of motherfuckers. So anyway, Nadler continues, he didn't mention interracial marriage for some reason. Nadler said in a speech on the floor of the House of Representatives, maybe the fact that he's intermarried had something to do with it. Well, that's kind of racist, isn't it, Gerald Nadler? Come on.
That's racist!
Anyway, Thomas is black, and his wife, Virginia, also known as Ginny, is white. Gerald Nadler, that's a picture of Gerald Nadler. Thomas joined a conservative majority in voting to overturn Roe v. Wade, the landmark decision that legalized abortion. He also penned a concurring opinion that said the nation's highest court should now reconsider several cases that rested on Roe's declaration of a constitutional right to privacy. In the September 20th, 2009, oh, that's a picture. Why is this? They captioned their pictures that's kind of in the article. Anyway, but he didn't mention Loving versus Virginia, ruling in which the Supreme Court similarly banned states from outlawing interracial marriage. That's because the Obergefell decision was based on that right to privacy thing. So holy shit. Because they weren't based on the same things. Oh, many states have had such laws in the books for close to 2 centuries. Nadler brought up that Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is married to Elaine Chao, who is Asian American. Oh, well, good to you notice all the interracial marriages in Congress there, Mr. Fat Face, Fuck Face, whatever I just said. Anyway, Ted Cruz, Republican of Texas, retorted, "The open racism of the Democratic Party knows no bounds." Yes, thank you, Ted Cruz. Oh,
China is asshole.
No, that was supposed to be that. Anyway, my fingers have gotten fatter for some reason. So here's this dickhead. Here, let's play this clip from Gerald Nadler. I hope it's not too long, but what an asshole. Yeah, the reason is they weren't based on the same decisions. All right, let's pause here. Here, we'll just play it from this part of the clip. Let's do, there. Here's Gerald Nadler being Gerald Nadler.
The logic, the substantive due process logic by which the court overthrew Roe v. Wade applies equally to Obergefell, to Loving.
It doesn't apply to Loving. It doesn't apply to Loving. It does not apply to Loving because they didn't make up a right that wasn't explicitly written into the Constitution. Whereas Loving, which is the interracial marriage one, was based on the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause. Now, somebody order Marty an older person soundboard with a high visibility button. Stop it. I can see them. My fingers move too close to that one. Anyway. Smart ass. Anyway, okay, dickhead Jerry Nadler.
Right to contraception, to the right to gay marriage.
Okay, again, it's because the privacy statutes. That's what they based it on, the privacy, or lack thereof, the privacy principle that they've dug out of nowhere in the Constitution were used in those later decisions, but was not used in Loving. He's got this backwards.
And to the right to interracial marriage, for that matter, and Justice Thomas mentioned all of that specifically. Yes, he said this case doesn't involve that. We're not deciding that yet, which is what the portion of his concurrence that Mr. Johnson read. But read the rest of his concurrence, where he said specifically that we should overrule or reconsider Obergefell and Lawrence.
Because those decisions were based on the Roe versus Wade decision, which was a decision that was kind of duct taped together from many different sections and words that are in the Constitution, but don't necessarily comport with what the Constitution says.
Which is consensual, which is gay marriage, which is consensual sodomy. He didn't mention Loving, though for some reason, which is interracial marriage, maybe the fact that he's intermarried and so is Senator McConnell, maybe that had something to do with it, but the same logic.
Anyway, so that's why Clarence Thomas is trending today. All right, let's keep going here. Also, some members of Congress were fake arrested. I'm just going to leave these threads here because I think many of you probably already heard this. But I do want you to, I'm going to show you two little clips here showing you how arrested they were. Oh my gosh. In fact, there were articles in like, CNN.com right here, for example, 17 Democratic members of Congress, including Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, were arrested outside the Supreme Court at an abortion rights protest. Oh my God! Here she is. She's being arrested. See her there. Oh my gosh, she's got her hands behind her back. Oh, they cut it off. See, they cut it off. Now the reason they were moved. Now, see, look at that. Watch. All right. I'm going to show you some just fucketry right here. This is some fucketry. You got to see this. I'm going to put this on the full size here because this is straight bullshit. Watch this. Now, watch the CNN video where it looks like they are arresting these people. It looks like they got them handcuffed. And look how quick they show the clips.
We won't go back. We won't go back. We won't
Okay, so there are more than a dozen room for those arrested, blah, blah, blah.
We won't go back. We won't go back.
Okay, now look, stop. Notice the clip. Her hands behind her back. Cops holding her arms. This is CNN. Now, you know that this is CNN has the full clip. Okay? Now they're showing her they're getting Cori Bush now. Of course, they're not. Notice her hands are not behind her back. Ayanna Pressley. Oh, and look at Ilhan Omar. Her arms are behind her back. It looks like she's being handcuffed and being taken out.
Shut it down.
And obviously, now look, they didn't handcuff Andy Levin. Oh my God, these sexist pricks. All right, so you've seen that clip, right? This is CNN saying that these people were arrested, right? Okay. And here, Jen Ellis breaking. Ilhan Omar arrested her outside the Supreme Court. Let's watch some clips now of these same people. This is Ilhan Omar being arrested. Hold on. Now, okay, that's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, her hands are behind her back like she's being handcuffed, right? Oh, but she raises a fist and waves at the people. And then Ilhan Omar. Here comes Ilhan Omar. Where is she? Here she is. Oh, now Ilhan Omar is so arrested that she forgot that she left the police behind, but her hands are still behind her back, like as if she's handcuffed. Wait a minute, where are the cops escorting her? Oh my gosh, she is really so arrested here. And then I think she takes time. Oh, they don't show. Here she goes. Ready? She raises a fist to the crowd. Okay, so anyway, and here's the story from the Daily Caller. What the hell's going on here? Ocasio-Cortez Omar roasted for pretending to be handcuffed after SCOTUS arrest. Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York and Ilhan Omar of Minnesota were roasted on social media Tuesday after appearing to fake being handcuffed by police after they were arrested for blocking traffic outside the Supreme Court. Ocasio-Cortez, Omar, and Representatives Cori Bush of Missouri, Ayanna Pressley of Massachusetts, and other members of the far-left group known as the Squad were arrested at a pro-abortion protest Tuesday afternoon. At least 17 members of Congress were arrested. Well, they weren't really arrested. They went and stood over in the park and they took pictures of the cops and took selfies, and they might get a $25 fine. Who knows? Video showed Ocasio-Cortez and Omar being led away from the group by police. One video showed Ocasio-Cortez placing her hands behind her back as if she were being handcuffed, only to raise her right hand in a fist a second later. She's pretending to be handcuffed, does a power fist, and goes back to pretending being handcuffed, writer Noam Bloom says. Now, we saw the video already, so I'm not going to show it again. Is she pretending to be handcuffed? Washington Examiner columnist T. Beckett Adams asked. Her pretending to be handcuffed is just spectacular. I'm just back to the name who says them anymore. Omar posted a video of her arrest on Twitter. In the video, her hands are crossed behind her back as if she's in handcuffs. Today I was arrested while participating in civil disobedience action with my fellow members of Congress outside the Supreme Court, she said. I got arrested once with invisible handcuffs too, Greg Price joked in response. I stand with you, girl. Ilham Omar is placed in invisible handcuffs that still allow for a full range of motion, said Matt Walsh. So anyway, everyone was savaging those two morons. Anyway, all right. Jussie Smollett is also trending because of that arrest. If you and others, Jussie Smollett must have more jail time for a hate crime against the President of the United States in Houston. Okay, wait a minute. AOC wins the Jussie Smollett Award for Best Fakery to win political points. First, she fakes crying at a photo op at a detention center that was just an empty parking lot. And now she fakes being handcuffed while arrested. I'm sure there are many more times, but I'm out of space. So anyway, they're calling the arrest the Jussie Smollett. They got the Jussie Smollett treatment. This is the sort of thing. This sort of thing is why Jussie Smollett is trending. Come on, AOC. At least Jussie Smollett used a fake news for his hoax. She had no handcuffs, so. All right. Okay, I got time. Apparently, 1 year ago today, or that was yesterday, but anyway, 1 year ago today, let's get into some just regular news, since I'm running out of time. 1 year ago today, what the hell's going on here? That should be this. And there we go. 1 year ago today, Joseph Rahim Biden claimed no serious economist was predicting high inflation. There's nobody suggesting there's unchecked inflation on the way. There's no serious economists. That's totally different, said Joe Biden. On July 19, 2021, the president was talking about inflation when it had jumped from less than 2% to 5.4% in July. Oh, the good old days. Anyway, inflation is now at 9.1% and showing no signs of moderating, and serious economists are advising us that the inflation numbers are catastrophically bad. Biden's no serious economist boast is typical, as National Review's Jim Garrity points out. While the president doesn't control the inflation rate, he does control what he says about the inflation rate. No one makes Joe Biden go out in front of the cameras and make these sweeping hubristic declarations. He could have struck a more cautious and humble note when he was discussing the economy 1 year ago. At the time of Biden's remarks, the Consumer Price Index inflation rate had already started creeping up from 1.4% in January to 5.4% in June. There was a reason for people starting to worry. So anyway, but let's see. Here's the media. When the media calls him out on his grandiose pronouncements, he gets angry, as he did with MSNBC's Lester Holt on February 11th of this year. So Holt said to him, "You said inflation was going to be temporary. I think a lot of Americans are wondering what your definition of temporary is." "Well, you're being a wise guy with me a little bit, but I understand it's your job." What, Joe? That really wasn't an answer. Anyway, but when can we expect relief from inflation? Asked Holt. Biden said, "According to Nobel laureates, 14 of them that contacted me and a number of corporate leaders, it ought to be able to start to taper off as we go through this year. In the meantime, I'm going to do everything in my power to deal with the big points that are impacting most people in their homes." How'd that work out, Joe? Anyway, also, apparently Biden praised General Motors over Tesla. Now GM is moving its jobs to Mexico. All right, way to go, Joe Biden. General Motors is planning to build its newest electric vehicle in Mexico, the company said on Monday. Slated to arrive in the American marketplace next summer, the 2024 Chevy Blazer will be manufactured in Ramos Arizpe, Mexico, where the gas version of the car is presently assembled, according to CNBC. Versions of the electric vehicle will sell for between $45,000 and $66,000 and have a range of up to 320 miles. Well, thank God, everyone should go out and buy a new one, because the price of gas is going up and everyone can afford a $45,000 vehicle right now. In response to the news, GM expansion in Mexico, Tesla CEO Elon Musk commented on social media that, quote, "Teslas are the most made in USA vehicles." Indeed, President Biden has frequently lauded GM and Ford amid their efforts to expand electric vehicle offerings, yet has consistently decided to omit the world's largest electric vehicle automaker. Ford is investing $11 billion to build electric vehicles, creating 11,000 jobs across the country. A post from Biden's social media said, as his most recent State of the Union speech concluded, GM is making the largest investment in history, $7 billion to build electric vehicles, creating 4,000 jobs in Michigan. Well, apparently they're going to be creating a bunch of jobs in Mexico, too. Good morning, Trip. Good to see you, my brother. All right, so anyway, every time Joe opens his mouth, something bad happens. So, also this morning in Breitbart, police say 22-year-old Elijah Dickin neutralized the mass shooter in 50 seconds. This is the guy who shot the guy who was doing the mass shooting in the shopping mall in Indiana. Well, this guy neutralized the guy within 15 seconds. Greenwood Police Chief James Eisen corrected the record on Tuesday by noting that 22-year-old is it Elijah? Oh, it must be Elijah. Elijah Dickin opened fire on the Indiana mass mall shooter and neutralized him in just 15 seconds after the attack begun. The New York Post points out that Eisen had initially said Dickin returned fire in 2 minutes into the attack, but on Tuesday, Eisen said this error was simply a result of misreading notes during a press conference. I feel the need to correct this immediately. Eisen said the surveillance video shows Sapirman exit the restroom at 5:56:48 seconds p.m. He was neutralized by Dickin at 5:57:03 p.m. So this guy acted fast and should be lauded as a hero, right? Everyone should be thinking this guy's a hero. Well, unfortunately, leftists have lashed out at the 22-year-old who stopped the mall mass shooting and said he's no good Samaritan. Leftists are pushing back at the phrase being poured on 22-year-old Elijah Dickin by claiming he was no good Samaritan. Well, fuck you, leftists. On July 19, 2022, Breitbart News noted that Dickin was receiving praise from police, mayors, and the very mall, Greenwood Park Mall, where Sunday's attempted mass shooting occurred. He had his handgun on him thanks to constitutional carry and was able to engage and ultimately kill the attacker before the attacker could further execute his heinous attack. A common statement in praise poured out was that Dickin was a good Samaritan, but some on the left cannot handle the fact that Dickin was armed and ready and took care of business. For example, when we saw this yesterday, we talked about this yesterday, like all these people were saying, no, he's not a good Samaritan. He was breaking the mall policy by having his gun and blah, 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 blah. So, for example, this guy, David Levitt, you never need a good Samaritan with a gun at Greenwood Park Mall or any other place if there weren't any guns to begin with. Well, I'm pretty sure that dickhead with the guy starting to shoot people didn't give a fuck, and he had a gun. So thank God for this Dickin guy. CBS 40 Indianapolis traffic anchor Justin Collar suggested the term Good Samaritan came from a Bible passage of a man from Samaria who stopped on the side of the road to help a man who was injured and ignored. I cannot believe we live in a world where the term can equally apply to someone killing someone. My God. Seriously? And then Mike Bloomberg, affiliated Shannon Watts, leader of DeMob's Demand Action, tweeted, the NRA won't tell us that defensive gun use is rare. That's false. It's almost like 3-to-1 defensive. That is false. That's the reason they won't tell you that, because defensive gun use is not exceedingly rare. Anyway, and data shows criminal carry laws. Criminal carry laws? The fuck does that mean? Increase gun crime and gun homicides in the states where they're passed. But most of all, these deadly laws increase gun sales, which is the real reason they're pushing them. She might want to look that up again. On February 19, 2015, Florida State University criminologist Gary Kleck reaffirmed his findings. There are a minimum of 760,000 defensive gun uses each year in the U.S. Kleck's numbers first came to the public's attention in the early 1990s and are yet to be refuted with empirical evidence. On July 14, 2022, Breitbart News pointed to a study pointed out a study from the Crime Prevention Research Center showing 60 times a concealed carry permit holder stopped a mass shooting between December 17th, 1991 and May 25th, 2022. The 60-plus incidents listed in which concealed permit holders stopped mass shooters occurred in the states of Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Louisiana, Nebraska, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and Wisconsin, among others. So her so-called stats are just false. In the Daily Wire, murder charges have been dropped against the New York City bodega clerk who defended himself during the attack. We talked about that earlier. Good. This jackass, what's his name? That in New York, Alvin Bragg, who was initially charging him, I think was just shamed out of charging him. Charges have been dropped against Manhattan bodega clerk who fatally stabbed a man who allegedly attacked him at work. Allegedly. Jose Alba, 61, was attacked earlier this month by 35-year-old Austin Simon while working in his Hamilton Heights bodega. During the attack, Alba grabbed a knife and stabbed Simon, who died of his injuries. Alba was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, but those charges have been dropped. It's about time, Alvin Bragg, you frickin' clown. Anyway, good. You can read the rest of the story on your own. You get the idea. In California, Governor Gavin Newsom has approves of a law banning arrest for prostitution-based loitering. Well, I wonder why, Gavin. You know, I mean, you're a good-looking dude. You don't need to get a hooker from the street. Hello, Jesse Leon, by the way. That's completely unrelated. Oh, I forgot. Thank you, smiley-faced stalker. For the donation via Streamlabs, who says, "You want to my semi." What does that mean? That is not even a good sentence. You want to my semi. Someone's gonna have to rewrite that sentence. Was that smiley? Oh, not the smiley face stalker. Smiley face killer. With another small bullet in the tip jar. You want to my semi. I don't even know what that means. Somebody explain that to me in the chat. I have no idea. California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom signed into law this month a bill that bans arrest for loitering with the intent of prostitution, sparking a bipartisan concern that the law will attract sex traffickers and other criminals. Oh, you think? They'll just be everywhere, not just West Hollywood. Anyway, not that I know that there are hookers in West Hollywood. Although prostitution is illegal in California, SB 357 repeals the provision to make loitering with the intent to commit, recruit, aid, collect, or receive any act of prostitution a misdemeanor. They're looking to repeal that act. It also allows those who are convicted of prostitution-related loitering to petition the court for the dismissal and sealing of their case or get resentencing. Now, this is an unfortunate choice of images. Are these hookers in California? Is that how they dress? They're color coordinated. What the hell? Anyway, supporters laud the law as a form of anti-discrimination that will help minorities communities. Senator Scott Wiener, that's the asshole who did the makes it so that you cannot, they made having sex with someone when you knowingly have AIDS used to be a felony. Now it's just a misdemeanor, thanks to this Scott Wiener jackass. Anyway, Scott Wiener wrote the bill and called it a repeal of the walking while trans law. Oh, that's why he did it. Because arresting hookers is anti-trans. I don't understand. Holy shit. Governor Gavin has just signed Bill SB 357, our legislation to repeal the crime of loitering with the intent to commit prostitution, also known as the walking while trans law. This discriminatory law targeted and profiled black and brown trans women. It needed to go. Oh my God. This guy is such an asshole. He referred to okay, anyway, we read that. News said the law does not legalize prostitution, but repeals what has led to disproportionate harassment of women and transgender adults. I'm just going to move on. What a dickhead. All right, big win for Putin. Former intelligence officer blasts Pulitzer board after refusing to take back Russiagate prizes. Oh, so this is a pretty good story. So the Pulitzer Prize Board decision to stand by its 2018 media award for coverage of the 2016 allegations of Russian collusion between Russia and then Canada Donald Trump is actually a big win for Russian President Vladimir Putin, a former defense intelligence official, told the Daily Wire. On Sunday, the board announced that it would not revoke the awards in national reporting that it gave to the Washington Post and New York Times after separate reviews converged on their conclusions. That no passage or headlines, contentions, or assertions in any of the winning submissions were discredited by facts that emerged subsequent to the conferral of prizes. Bullshit! Holy balls, that's a lie. Anyway, former President Donald Trump had previously requested that Pulitzer scrub the awards after new information has been revealed through various government investigations and additional reporting into the matter, which showed that no such collusion existed between the campaign and Russia. Pulitzer's refusal to take back the award given for the inaccurate coverage of the Russiagate hoax is a big win for Putin, said Rebecca Koffler, former Defense Intelligence Agency intelligence officer specializing in Russian doctrine and strategy. Koffler told the Daily Wire that any inference Putin did in previous elections was meant to cause division, and that the Times and the Post played a role in that effort, even if unwittingly. Oh my goodness.
You know the thing.
So anyway, they're not going to take them back. They're going to stand by those Pulitzer Prizes on stories that turned out to be bullshit. Well, that's how the media works because they all love that shit. Anyway, all right, I got to get through these pretty quick. There's an article in the American Thinker here, which I'll make it so you can see it. Social media appears to be planning to censor the truth about Democrats prior to the November election. Oh, wow. This is new. That is so unlike social media censoring things. Oh my God. I've never heard of social media censoring anything. Social media apparently is planning on turbocharging the censoring of conservative voices, particularly ones who criticize Democrats leading up to the midterm elections. How do I know this? What happened to me on Twitter last week and cannot be an accident. It is enough evidence for me. That's how. What I'm about to report is anecdotal, but from the little anecdotes, great forest of fake news and censorship can grow. Last weekend, I read an article at Yahoo News that was originally published at the certifiably left-wing site The Daily Beast. The article's title was "Shocking Monkeypox Screw-Up Means We Need to Admit We Now Face Two Pandemics." No, we don't. The message was clear. Another major pandemic is imminent, and the federal government and the tail wagging the dog, the medical establishment, will soon be unveiling draconian plans to combat it, similar to what went down for 2 years with Stupid 19. Well, since Drudge had linked to the article at the top of his site for almost 24 hours on July 16th, most of the reader comments at Yahoo News were pretty much on target and highly skeptical. I decided to tweet a link to the article, and I added 3 hashtags, and this is what I tweeted. Is monkeypox the new Democratic pandemic? Sounds like it. Oh, I can see why you can get in trouble for that. Shortly after my tweet went online, it was taken down, and I was blocked from logging into my account. This is part of the message from Twitter that awaited me. What happened? We have determined that this account violated the Twitter rules, specifically for 1, violating the policy on spreading misleading and potentially harmful information related to Stupid 19. We understand that during times of crisis and instability, it is difficult to know what to do to keep yourself and your loved ones safe. Under this policy, we require the removal of content that may pose risk to the people's health, including content that goes directly against the guidance from the authoritative sources of global and local political health information. Global. That sounds globalist. Anyway, now, okay, he kind of did say something about, okay, I'm not going to read the rest of this because he did say something about COVID, and they are very sensitive about you saying anything about COVID. And so this whole monkeypox, the new Democratic pandemic, makes it sound like COVID was the old pandemic, and we would never, ever, ever, ever suggest that. Ever. Ever. Anyway, So anyway, to restore the account, he was required to agree that he had violated the rules and delete the offensive tweet. Fuck off with that shit, you motherfuckers. Never mind. Thank you, Fight for a Right, for sponsoring the show.
Chinese asshole.
Who says, words cannot, this is very kind. Words cannot express the ease in which you make the work mornings pedizzle. It's either you or a Ben Shapiro in the mornings, and I'm not a fan of small hats. Many blessings to you and the family. Well, thank you, Fight for a Right. I really appreciate that. That's fantastic. And I'm glad that I can be part of your morning. And that goes to all of yous. Okay, since I'm out of time, I'm just going to show you the headlines today. I'm not going to get to them. Less than half of San Francisco students are high school ready. More than a fourth are chronically absent, and that includes the ones already in high school. This is just a report from the Washington Free Beacon telling you how shitty the schools in San Francisco are. Is anybody shocked? Are you shocked? Are you shocked that there's gambling in this gambling hall? So anyway, that's not surprising. Also in the Washington Free Beacon, the feds investigate Eric Holder's doctor wife for violating patient privacy. Apparently, so federal authorities are investigating the claims that former Attorney General Eric Holder's wife, an obstetrician, violated health privacy laws by misusing her former patient's records to help promote her new menopause relief business. The Department of Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights opened an investigation in June into the alleged breach, which may have impacted up to 27,000 patients. Good God! At Dr. Sharon Malone's formal medical practice, Foxhall Associates, according to HHS records, reviews by the Washington Free Beacon. You may be in a little trouble there, Ms. Malone. Ms. Malone's legal troubles come as her husband, who led the Department of Justice for more than 6 years, is now one of the Democratic Party's most prominent active attorneys and has denounced the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade as an attack on women and on every citizen's right to privacy, and called for Democrats to pack the court with left-leaning judges. So, interesting. She's turned over her records to her new employer, Alloy, a telehealth startup that she helped launch in 2021, which used the information to send out marketing emails. Oh, that's not good. That's what's happening. That's why. All right. Also in the Washington Free Beacon, inside the GOP's firm's secret fight to protect the Seminole tribe's gambling monopoly. Apparently this is one of these, we're just doing a little scandal watch here. A prominent Republican consulting firm helmed by a U.S. Senator's son was the hidden hand of a major Florida ballot initiative that would have ended the Seminole tribe's stranglehold on gaming in the Sunshine State, allowing them to box out gambling giants, including Las Vegas Sands, that were looking to gain a foothold in the state. The Seminole tribe of Florida has built an empire off its gaming enterprises and dropped tens of millions of dollars into unprecedented opposition campaigns centered around paying petition gathering firms big money to stay out of the expansion effort. Politico reported in November the money was funneled through a Florida consulting firm to a previously undisclosed collaborator. The Washington Free Beacon has learned Hush Blackwell Strategies, HBS, a top Republican consulting firm run by Senator Roy Blunt, Republican of Missouri's son, Andy Blunt. Now, Roy Blunt just always seemed to be in trouble, or he's peripheral to trouble. With Blunt's firm's help, the Indian tribe ran a scheme to kneecap its competitors, including Sands, FanDuel, and DraftKings, that including sabotage, harassment, and six-figure buyouts. Sources familiar with the fight told the Free Beacon Florida was not the first to place Blunt's firm, the first place Blunt's firm used the strategy. The firm also worked on behalf of George Soros and a Democratic dark money group. The Free Beacon reported in May to undermine a GOP-backed voter ID ballot initiative in Michigan. He did so, as in Florida, by paying signature gatherers not to work for his opponents. Wow, that's not good. I don't know if that's illegal, but it's sure shady as fuck. Okay. Also, let's see. Trump smokes Hogan in his backyard. Former president's pick. That didn't sound right. The former president's pick wins a blowout primary race against Hogan's choice. So this is in Maryland. Maryland delegate Dan Cox, who secured former President Donald Trump's highly valuable endorsement, defeated Trump critic Governor Larry Hogan's choice as his successor, Kelly Schultz, in Maryland Republican gubernatorial primary. So Trump is he like 29-1 as far as the people he's endorsed have become the nominee. So anyway, and so Larry Hogan's choice. Larry Hogan's not a fan of Donald Trump, but Donald Trump's choice won the primary there. So that's all you need to know. The story's there if you want to read it. Let's see. And what the hell's here? Oh, thank you, Smiley Face Killer. Oh, they already did that one. Oh, dragged a hooker's face off under a trailer. Oh, that's the answer? Ew. It's kind of gross. Is that what you're... Okay, I'm just going to thank you for sponsoring the show. And just... where's this one? There it is. I see dead people. Anyway, new CNN poll might be the most glaring indictment of Biden and Democrats yet. Americans questioned President Biden's priorities in his new CNN polling released Monday that highlighted widespread displeasure with the direction the country is headed. And also, water is wet. The latest CNN poll showed that 68% of U.S. adults believe Biden's priorities are wrong and that the president hadn't paid enough attention to critical issues facing Americans like the economy and inflation. This is up 10% from November 2021 when the data was last tracked, according to the poll. As the midterms loom, American told CNN pollsters that they don't believe the country, where elected Democrats hold the highest offices, are heading in a safe direction. So if you want to get more information on that, this will be in this. 75% of Americans believe rising cost of living, including gas, energy, and food prices, is the biggest economic crisis facing U.S. families, while the White House is worried about affirming children's genders and getting them puberty blockers. So anyway, there you can read the rest of that. And then my last few articles, place where Biden fell off his bike. Oh, on Google Maps. This is hilarious. I'm going to finish with this. Let me come back to that. So the rest of the articles, apparently there's a Democratic congresswoman had a meltdown in a Florida diner after seeing her opponent's campaign poster. Is that the video? Oh, here it is. Here's the video of this. This is short, so come on. Oh.
I'm gonna make sure that everyone exactly what you're doing. I'm not allowed. You can vote for your one. You put it down. No. I'm just going to tell you that I'm fine. I'm telling you, I'm going to tell you this. I'm never coming in.
So she's mad because she's mad because her opponent's campaign posters there.
You have a right. I have a right. I'm never coming in. That's all.
Oh, she's never going to come in again? Oh, I'm so sad. Anyway, let's see. Let me get through these. Oh, we were just talking about Nikki Haley yesterday. Apparently, she was on Tucker Carlson and let's see. While we were in Iowa last week, we spoke about some politicians who should not be running the country. Here's one of them. So he's talking about Nikki Haley here. How long?
We were in Iowa last week. We spoke about some of the politicians who should not be running the country. We were pretty specific about it. Here's one. I'll never forget it as long as I live. And then she said,
oh, shit.
In order for healing to occur, what happens next must be personal and painful for everyone. I thought, really? Why is that? And of course, what happened next was personal and painful for everyone. Our cities burned down, and a lot of people died. And I thought, why should what happened between a cop and George Floyd outside a convenience store in Minneapolis be personal and painful to anybody else? What are you even talking about? Oh, you have no idea what you're talking about. You're trying to please the people whose opinions you actually care about at the New York Times. That's just true. Doesn't mean she's a bad person. I don't think she is a bad person. I've always liked Nikki Haley. She was right here. I tell her to her face, I like you. Don't want you in charge of anything. Because the second things get intense, the second the other side really unleashes and starts yelling so loudly that you can't think clearly, I want a leader who can still think clearly.
Good point there, Tucker. Good point, Tucker. Anyway, let's see. I'll skip Ace here. Also, let's see. Why Democrats are losing ground with Hispanics? Because they suck. There's a great article. You can read it. House passes bill mandating states recognize gay marriage. I don't think it's going to pass the Senate, but also it doesn't matter. It's already the law of the land, and it's supported by the 14th Amendment, and it's very unlikely that the Supreme Court will knock down Obergefell, however you say it. The State Department used your tax dollars to fund a film festival that depicted drag queens, incest, and pedophilia. Oh, joy. Jesus. The State Department helped fund a film festival that featured movies depicting drag queens, incest, and pedophilia. The Washington Free Beacon has learned Queen Lisboa, an intellectual queer film festival held in Portugal, was given $10,000 as part of the Biden administration's push to support LGBTQ plus and diversity, equity and inclusion and accessibility efforts. They keep adding words and letters to this. Abroad, according to a State Department spokesman, the festival offering including P.S. Byrne, This Letter Please, a documentary about drag culture in post-war New York City, Saint Narcisse, a film about incestuous twins, and Minivan, a movie about Brian Stelter. Anyway, I'm sorry, a movie about a 17-year-old Jewish boy who leaves his parents to explore New York City's gay scene and eventually has sex with an adult bartender. Minivan, that's what it says M-I-N-Y A-N, and it looked like it said minivan, so I'm pretty sure it looked like, something Brian Stelter. Anyway, great. Our State Department is sponsoring filth. Okay, let me just finish with this one, though. So on Google Maps, I'm going to finish with this. The place where Biden fell off his bike is now named Brandon Falls on Google Maps. If you search Brandon Falls on Google Maps, it brings up the location where President Joe Biden fell off his bike. I looked it up on the website, and yes, it was marked as Brandon Falls. It looks like old Roe official wanted to make the spot a historical landmark. The same account started a trend called Bidening, where people fall off their bikes as Biden did in Delaware. So Brandon Falls, is it Brandon Falls, Delaware? Anyway, that is fucking hilarious. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta go. I'm way late today. Hey, before you do anything, don't click yet, please. Hit the like button, share the stream before, during, and after the show. Put a comment in the comment section, and you can sponsor the show 24 hours a day at pdognight.live. You can leave a message there. I'll read it on the next show, or during the show if you do it during the show. Obviously, that's what we've done today. Thank you to our rash of serial killers who have sponsored the show today. Also, Select a Boy and John, who else? It's all the serial killer dude, and Fight for Our Rights, and whoever the serial killer dude is. I love you so much. And hey, just a reminder, all these little articles and things, I'm going to update the outro. During the outro, I'll update the description. It'll be all this. You hit a single link in the second paragraph, and it'll take you to a list of all of those articles. Hey, reminder, Gabs will be here on Friday, and next week's going to be a little bit sketchy as far as the schedule, so I'll just try to let you know what that schedule is going to be. Hey, thank you so much for being here. It's time for me to go. My name is P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye. Hey, this is P Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.